Hey folks, Cam here and welcome back to Reality Check. Now I've talked about the Oculus Rift on this show a few times before. For the uninitiated though, it's a super popular, still in development virtual reality headset. Only unlike classic 1980s-esque VR, it's actually, well, kind of great. But not just when applied to video games. So get ready for 5 of the best non-game uses for Oculus Rift. "2014 has started pretty nicely for the folks at Team Oculus. The third iteration of their headset, Crystal Cove, received countless plaudits at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas this year, including the official Best of CES award for 2014. But it's not just being recognized for its gaming applications, with companies and organizations using the kit for everything from prototype car design to the treatment of mental disorders. However, let's begin with a little bit of space exploration. By combining the Oculus Rift with the Kinect 2.0 camera, researchers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory have produced a system allowing for precise control of a robotic limb, purely through the movement of the operator's own limbs. What the JPL team ultimately have in mind is to use this system to operate rovers on the surface of Mars, with motion control directing the cameras, wheels and arms, and the Rift displaying the environment in 3D. NASA are also keen to use a similar setup as a way of controlling Robonaut 2, a dexterous humanoid robot designed to work alongside humans in space. Okay, so that's controlling robots in space covered. However, that's not the limit of NASA's Oculus ambitions. The folks at JPL are also using the headset to give Earth-dwelling humans the opportunity to walk amongst the Martian soil, or as close as possible to the real experience. By combining the headset with the Omni treadmill, another piece of gaming tech we've seen on the show before, users are able to take a pleasant stroll on the red planet's surface without all the real-life headaches of limited oxygen atmosphere, potentially freezing temperatures, and deadly radiation levels. Delightful. Imagine for a minute that you are building a prototype vehicle and you want to immerse your design team directly in their concept without having to go to all the trouble and expense of actually building the damn thing. Well, Ford are using Oculus Rift to do just this. Once again, we see the headset combined with motion capture technology, this time in the form of a high-end 4-camera rig from Vicon. The setup tracks the user's position and orientation, allowing them to wander in 3-dimensional space around the exterior of the vehicle, observing the design from every possible angle. Plus, simply sit in a precisely positioned chair, don the Rift, and you find yourself staring at the dash and steering wheel of your prototype motor. It's easy to imagine this setup proving very useful to engineers from all walks of life, and of course, for military R&D. Healthcare might not be the first thing that jumps into your head when you think of non-gaming uses of Oculus Rift. However, a field known as virtual reality therapy, or VRT, is proving to be quite useful in the treatment of some disorders. The idea behind VRT is to immerse patients in a 3D computer-generated world where they can receive therapy in an environment carefully controlled by a trained clinician. Take the treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder, for example. Traditional PTSD treatment relies on the patient to use their imagination to picture or relive the kind of events which traumatized them in the past. The idea being, by confronting the fear, you can eventually habituate your own response to it. So by using the Oculus Rift, clinicians can expose patients to a far more intricate, accurate, and realistic simulation of the trigger event. So far, the evidence suggests that VRT is effective in significantly reducing PTSD symptoms, and more research is currently underway to determine its effectiveness versus the traditional using your imagination treatments. Another medical application for the Oculus Rift was demonstrated in a 2012 paper, Virtual Reality Training for Upper Limb Prosthesis Patients. By once again combining the Rift with a motion tracking setup, researchers were able to create a training simulation to help familiarize patients with their new prosthesis. Lead author on the study, Annette Mossel, commented, "No other technology offers a way to realistically mimic the real world while proving the user with an intuitive environment. Our recent medical VR training tool demonstrates this in a great way, since the patient has the possibility of realistically learning how to control his prosthesis, even if the prosthesis is not yet manufactured." And finally, we've all heard about devices like Google Glass offering up a taste of augmented reality. Well, it turns out the Oculus Rift could be used for this too. A postdoctoral research associate at University College London by the name of William Steptoe has created a custom augmented VR Rift with a combination of clever programming and dual web cameras attached to the front of the device. Because the cameras mimic the eyes, when you don the Rift, you initially see the room pretty much as you saw it before, just at lower resolution due to the cameras. However, because you're actually viewing a virtual version of your real surroundings, it's a piece of cake to introduce CG elements into the scene. Everything from avatars, colored particles, even numerous hovering screens. To find out more about this setup, I highly recommend watching William's 18-minute video on YouTube in full, where he goes into the system in great detail and demonstrates a number of other effects, including wearing a virtual Oculus Rift inside an Oculus Rift. So, which was your favourite of these 5 non-gaming uses of the Oculus Rift? Or maybe you have your own idea which is better than all of them. Let me know in the comments down below or by tweeting directly at me at CamFrazRob. Okay guys, see you next week.